You know, one of the AI monsters that came to me in a dream told me to stop telling my stories, and I said no. I've been having a lot of supernatural experiences, a lot of extremely strange, very realistic dreams about beings that seem like a combination between AI and like a cartoon monster. And something is going on, and something else is going on that is kind of funny too, you know. First of all, I just want to say that they're going to lose, okay? And you all know that coming from me with this foot stomping overhead and this landlord who's making money off of me living here, working like a slave, and my parents who forced me into this existence for no fucking reason. I am the last person who's going to be coming on here trying to, you know, give you toxic positivity for humanity. You guys know that I'm a flat out misanthropist. I'm a bitter divorcee. To be fair, I was bitter before him. Okay, I can't blame it all on him. And who knows? Maybe I attracted that demon possessed man. You know, by something that I did. That's a story for another day. But yeah, they're losing. You know, the darkness is losing, and I know it sounds so cliche. You guys know I don't like cliche. I don't like toxic positivity, but the things that are happening for the revolution that's happening inside of us is not on the news. And I even experienced something the other day. Like I said, I've been having prophetic dreams. I share some of them on social media, like a little bit. I've been having prophetic experiences. I had this moment when I was walking in the rain when I was back in Edmonton, because walking was my saving grace. That's what I did in Edmonton to get myself out of my head. I'm like, I need movement, I need exercise, I need to be going somewhere and doing something, because I'm going to fall into a massive depression based on where my life is going right now, the way it looks. And I refuse to believe the way my life looks is what it is. And what do you know? It worked. But I was walking in the rain. I was just completely fed up. Like, I didn't even care. I wasn't rushing. I was just walking slowly, looking probably completely forlorn. And of course, up ahead of me, this car pulls over and a couple of people get out. And they're attractive, healthy people. They're people who wouldn't get a dirty look walking down the street in Edmonton because people are pissed off at immigrants from certain countries in Edmonton. There are people who would just, you know, and I could tell they were related because they all kind of looked similar. They all looked happy, and they're all going to someone's house. And I just felt, woo, here we go. The curdling bitterness, sadness, and pissed offness at my parents come over me. And then this awareness hit me. And it said something to the effect of like, stop feeling bad. You know who you are. The insinuation there was that I am not how I physically appear. It was weird because that was the insinuation that came with that. And that my family that I complain about is not my real family. Look, I don't know. I don't have any explanations. I can't tell you anything about this. This is all like intuition and like using sixth senses. And I'm getting chills thinking about it. I noticed something yesterday that I finally thought I should talk about, because it just has been happening so frequently that the first couple of times I just was like, that's weird, that's weird, that's weird. And then finally I realized yesterday when it happened again that I'm just accepting it without even thinking about it. And I'm like, that's not normal. And the thing is that's happening is that when I touch something or move something, it's like there's extra energy left over that keeps going. I don't have a word for this. I'm not sure what could be happening. I was like, is this some kind of telekinesis? I'm like, is this a a split in time where a sound is happening and then it's happening shortly after. So let me tell you the phenomena. It's like, so yesterday when I noticed it again, and I'm like, okay, there's no reason that should have happened. I was sweeping my new place, and my coworker, there's a sweeper mop, and so I was sweeping around and I pushed it into the bottom of the fridge, and it went clunk, kind of like, because I hit like the bottom, and then I swept the side of the fridge, and then a few seconds later, clunk, the exact same sound in the exact same spot. And a small part of my brain registered like, oh, that was weird, but I was like, let me leave it, because like this has been happening to me a lot. I would say over the past 8 months is when I started noticing it. And that's when I thought, you know what? No. I'm like, what point would there have been for that to like, so I went and tapped it. I'm like, is there something loose here? Is there something else that would make that clunking sound? And no, there wasn't. And this has been happening to me a lot the past couple weeks. Like, for example, I had like a plastic bag, and I was putting some like vegetables into the plastic bag. And yeah, I put a vegetable into the plastic bag, it made a sound, and then I like turned around, and then it happened again. I heard the sound of it happening again. This happened to me a lot when I was moving. Like, look, I've even like seen things move. Like, and it's always like when I'm manipulating something. So yeah, there's like a stand-up recyclable bag that's like a cross between plastic and cloth, and I'm moving, so I go and I put something in it, and the bag moves, and you hear like the sound of me putting something in that. A few seconds later, the bag moves, and you hear the sound again. And it might not be exactly the same, it'll be like slightly different. So something weird is happening with reality. Don't even try to tell me, like, I could probably look it up if this is some kind of weird brain problem, but I don't think so. The day that they were starting up the Hadron Collider for CERN, I calculated the time that it would be and the date, because like they'll tell you it's happening at 6 p.m. blah 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 or whatever, but you can calculate when that is in like Switzerland or whatever. But it was like something like 4 a.m, something like that. Turned out I was going to be on an overnight bus in Mexico, traveling to Puerto Vallarta. Most people are dead asleep, and it's like Mexico, really, really far away from where they're launching that collider, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, let me set my alarm for that time anyway. I set my alarm. I woke up on that bus in the middle of the highway, because I remember actually being a little bit scared. I'm like, what if something crazy happens while I'm on this bus? Looked out the window. The sky was green. The night sky was glowing green in places. And like I think about it now, and I'm like, that's what the Northern Lights does. That only occurred to me recently. I'm like, yeah, this guy could go green for the Northern Lights. Tell me a single time anyone's seen the Northern Lights in Mexico. I think something happened with CERN, and I think they're switching timelines. You might have noticed it feels like time's speeding up, time's slowing down. Things are just like flip. You can't really get your bearings. It feels like something is off. You're always drained. Like time is moving weirdly, and it feels like nothing's real. I think they they're fucking with the timelines somehow, because they saw that they lost, and they're trying to change the outcome. It's not going to happen. They're going to lose in every reality, and no matter what they do. So look, I'm a grumpy, extremely grumpy ass, disillusioned ass person, okay? I've just seen so much of this world and so much of humans, and I've seen a lot of really beautiful things, but I'm pretty disillusioned. So for me to be on here being like, yeah, those guys are gonna lose, you can believe it. I do think that maybe, just maybe, I have a part to play, because and you do too. Just today I was randomly like, you know, I need to change my routine because I was going home from work and there's like eating and then going to the gym. That's like my weird thing. It's like I like to eat like, something, but then I always like to go to the gym as much, but you can't outrun a bad diet, right? So I'm like, I need to do something else. And it just came to my mind, like I'm realizing it now. I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, I'm so cute actually, because like the things I thought to do were just to help other people. So like, I'm gonna volunteer at the vet, the animal shelter. I was like, I should go feed the cats, but like there's so much fucking snow today, so the cats aren't gonna be out. But yeah, someone else's cats. I'm like, I'm gonna go feed them. And there was also this business. I got this really great take-home pizza from them a while back. No more pizza for me. But I went in there and like I noticed they weren't on Google. Their Google listings were messed up, like all these little weird things. And the guy was like so nice and so friendly and awesome. And so today I thought, you know what? Let me go see if I drum up some business and help this guy. So I went in there. I'm like, can we just talk about your business? And I'm like, I noticed that you don't have a Google ad listing. Like it says you're closed. And he's like, yeah, me and my wife been trying to fix that forever. Like we don't know what's wrong, blah, 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 blah. I'm really bad at social media, la, la, la. So I just like had this chat with him and heard like all about his life, his business, whatever, like what they're doing and everything else. And he's like, yeah, we're going to try to fix it. But like if we can't, I'll give you a call. And I was like, okay. And like I felt so good meeting him. Like the way he was talking to me, like, yeah, he was like a very solid Canadian guy, entrepreneur, working hard. And so then after I left, I went to my Google account and I have some high status like ranking or some other weird thing in Google because of like all the reviews I've done and because of my YouTube channel and everything else. Like I don't know what it's called. But anyway, I went to their listing and I like went and clicked and made some suggestions and it was like approved. And I was like, what? I affected this guy's business listing just by like, it literally took me less than 1 minute. And I felt so happy. I'm like, oh my God, I just feel so good when I can help people, and be useful. Not really people, but like people that I like. Okay. And cats. And you all, I've been getting some emails from people asking about my ebooks and stuff. What? I'm so lucky. One of the AI monsters that came to me in a dream told me to stop telling my stories. And I said no. And so he started firing a gun at me, this little weird laser gun. And I was dodging and it was like causing these big explosions. And I'm like, holy shit. And then I realized that this little gun that he was firing at me was fake. Because there was a wall behind me with like light screens. And his gun had a little laser pointer on it. So he was like pointing it at me and I was dodging and it was hitting the wall in behind, and the wall would take the information from the laser and make it look like an explosion and make a loud sound. And then I'm like, these scary, crazy monsters don't have real power. Just kind of like, that creepy guy that I woke up to, that dark shadow making mean faces at me sitting on my bed in the middle of the night in Mexico. I told him to go away. I am a literal demon fighter. I'm not afraid of them. They piss me off. Some of you know that I had a ghost in my apartment in the Crow's Nest Pass. This is a place where a lot of people died because the side of the mountain came down and covered the town, and the town still exists underneath. And they just built a little town on top of it, and I lived there, and I loved it. But I had a ghost in my apartment, and I got mad that he was bothering me and told him to fuck off. So yeah, you know what? If these demons want to come out to play, they better hope they don't fuck with me. Okay? They've been fucking with me my whole life. And I've got a lot of tools to fight them now. And you know what? Even the parasites in your body, you got to fight them too. You got to get the stuff from the farm tack. You know, that's one thing about living in a small town. They got a lot of farm stores. You go there and you get the Safeguard and the Powermectin. You're going to feel great. Giving it to your quote unquote horse. Anyway, I gotta go. You hear that? You hear that? This is the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk living above me.